Spanish football enjoyed its best-ever era between 2008 and 2012, with back-to-back European Championship titles and a historic World Cup win in the middle. Apart from a continental crown on home soil back in 1964, major tournaments had previously been a disappointment for La Roya. Always among the favorites, the Spanish team seemed to fluff their lines on the biggest stage. But with their triumph at the 2008 European Championship, all of that changed as a new golden era began and Spain wowed the world with a special style of football. Naturally, many of Spain's standout players come from those victories. Here's a look at the nation's greatest ever. 30. Telmo Zarra. A legendary forward for Athletic Club in the 1940s and 50s, Telmo Zarra scored an incredible 335 goals and 330 for games for the Basque outfit. Zarra's international career was halted early on by the Second World War, but he played 20 times for Spain and scored 20 goals, with 4 of those coming in the 1950 World Cup. 29. Gaizka Mendieta. Gaizka Mendieta was one of the world's most exciting players in the late 1990s and early 2000s, but the Basque was never the same after a big money transfer to Lazio in 2001. An all-action midfielder and scorer of spectacular goals, Mendieta led Valencia to back-to-back Champions League finals in 2000 and 2001. For Spain, he rarely reached those levels but was important, and his no-look penalty technique was highly effective. Had he still been on the pitch against France at the 2000 European Championship when Raul missed a late spot kick, Spain's story might have been different. 28. Rodri. Spain's golden generation of players was the envy of the world during their glory years between 2008 and 2012, but La Roja have not produced the same level of talent in recent years. Rodri is the exception. The midfielder scored the winner for Manchester City in the 2023 Champions League final and was instrumental as Spain claimed the Nations League title later in the summer. The best player to emerge for La Roja in years. 27. Pedro. Pedro broke through at Barcelona in the 2009-10 season, and the following summer, the winger found himself starting for Spain in a World Cup final. The Tenerife-born attacker came in for the semi-final against Germany as Fernando Torres dropped to the bench and kept his place in the showpiece against the Netherlands. He appeared as a substitute in all of Spain's knockout games at the 2012 European Championship and scored 17 goals in 65 games between 2010 and 2017. 26. Fernando Morientes. Fernando Morientes formed an impressive partnership with Raúl at Real Madrid in the late 1990s, and that continued at international level. Morientes was one of the best center forwards of his generation and always seemed to perform well for Spain, netting 27 goals in 47 appearances for La Roja, 5 of those at World Cups. 25. Andoni Zubizarreta. It is a shame that Andoni Zubizarreta is best remembered by many for his mistake against Nigeria at the 1998 World Cup because the Basque was one of La Roja's greatest goalkeepers. The former Athletic Club and Barcelona shot-stopper played in 4 World Cups for Spain and won 126 caps in an impressive international career which ended after the disappointment of World Cup group stage exit in 1998. 24. Santi Cazorla. If it wasn't for injuries, Santi Cazorla would likely be much higher on this list, but the Asturian still played 81 games for Spain. The elegant former Arsenal and Villarreal midfielder was sidelined for the 2010 World Cup, but did feature in both of Spain's European Championship wins in 2008 and 2012. He scored 15 goals for La Roja before retiring from international football in 2019. 23. Amancio Amaro. Amancio Amaro was nicknamed El Brujo the Wizard in a successful career as outside right for Deportivo La Coruña, Real Madrid and Spain. A 9-time La Liga winner and a European champion with Los Blancos, Amancio also helped Spain to win the European Championship in 1964, scoring an extra-time winner against Hungary in the last 4. He won 42 caps overall, scoring 11 goals. 22. Alfredo Di Stefano. One of the greatest players in the history of football, Alfredo Di Stefano was barred from playing for Argentina after featuring for a Colombia 11, so he decided to represent Spain instead in the 1950s. The Real Madrid legend scored an impressive 23 goals in 31 appearances for Spain, but La Roja failed to qualify for the 1958 World Cup and he missed the 1962 edition through injury. 21. Luis Enrique. Before becoming a successful coach, Luis Enrique was an all-action midfielder for Real Madrid and most notably Barcelona in the 1990s and early 2000s. The Asturian was something of an emblematic player for Spain in that time, appearing in 3 World Cups and famously ending up with a bloodied face following an elbow from Italy's Mauro Tassotti in the first of those. He scored 12 goals in 62 appearances overall. 20. Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was one of the finest midfielders of his generation, excelling as an intelligent deep-lying playmaker for Barcelona in the 1990s. The Catalan was also an important player for Spain in a generation which promised more than it delivered, featuring in the quarter-final runs at the 1994 World Cup and the 2000 European Championship. He missed the 1998 World Cup through injury, but won 47 caps in total. 19. Michel. Michel was a talented winger and fan favorite at Real Madrid in the 1980s, known for his impressive crossing ability from the right flank and his eye for goal. The midfielder went on to become one of Spain's standout stars in that era too, memorably hitting a hat-trick against South Korea in the 1990 World Cup and netting 21 goals in 66 caps overall. 18. Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba made his debut a year after Spain's World Cup win, but the attacking left-back would go on to become a key player with La Roja for more than a decade. Alba started every game at the 2012 European Championship and scored Spain's second goal against Italy in the final. In 2023, he captained the team to victory in the UEFA Nations League before retiring from international football later in the summer. He is probably the best left-back in Spain's history. 17. Fernando Hierro. Fernando Hierro played 89 times for Spain and scored 29 goals during what was a period of underachievement for La Roja, but that wasn't his fault. The former Real Madrid and Spain skipper was a stylish central defender who could also operate in midfield and had a good goal record. Powerful, elegant and a natural leader, he was one of the best in the world in his prime. 16. Emilio Butragueño. Emilio Butragueño gave his name to a special generation of players at Real Madrid in the 1980s, La Quinta del Buter, and was also Spain's most exciting player at that time. Butragueño scored 5 goals at the 1986 World Cup, including for in a 5-1 win over Denmark. In total, he hit 26 in 69 games for La Roja and is considered one of the nation's best ever center forwards. 15. Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas featured prominently in all 3 of Spain's tournament wins between 2008 and 2012, starting in both European Championship finals and coming off the bench in the World Cup showpiece in 2010. It was the midfielder's pass in extra time which set up Andres Iniesta for Spain's winner against the Netherlands, the most important goal in Spanish football history. Fabregas was later used as a false 9 in 2012 and won 110 caps overall, scoring 15 goals. 14. Fernando Torres. Fernando Torres scored the goal which ended Spain's long wait for silverware as he hit the winner against Germany in the final of the 2008 European Championship. The former Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and Chelsea striker rushed his way back from injury to feature in the 2010 World Cup and was never really the same after that, but his contribution was still significant, and he came off the bench to score in the 2012 European Championship final against Italy. 13. Gerard Piqué. Gerard Piqué often divided opinion within Spanish football, and the former Barcelona defender upset some supporters with his outspoken thoughts on Real Madrid, but his importance in La Roja's golden era is without question. The Catalan centre-back transferred his excellent partnership with Barcelona teammate Carles Puyol over to international level at the 2010 World Cup, and was also excellent alongside Sergio Ramos at the 2012 European Championship. Capped 102 times for Spain overall. He was missed following his retirement in 2018. 12. Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso was one of the pillars of Spain's success between 2008 and 2012, featuring in all 3 of their tournament successes. The elegant midfielder started only 1 match at the 2008 European Championship under Luis Aragonés, coming off the bench in the semi-final and the final as La Roja claimed their first silverware since 1964. But he was an ever-present in a magnificent midfield for Vicente del Bosque in 2010 and 2012. Alonso played 114 times for Spain, scoring 16 goals including both in the 2-0 quarter-final win over France at the 2012 European Championship. 11. Paco Gento. Paco Gento is a legend of Spanish football and one of Real Madrid's all-time greats, the only man to win 6 European Cups as a player. Gento was a winger with blistering pace who was one of the world's best players in the 1960s. He was part of the Spain squad, which won the European Championship in 1964, though he didn't feature in the final following a fallout with the coach. He passed away in 2022 at the age of 88. 10. David Silva. David Silva was benched by Spain after La Roja lost their opening match at the 2010 World Cup, and the former Manchester City midfielder appeared only once more in the rest of the tournament. But the Canarians still played a huge part in the team's success, starting 5 out of 6 games at the 2008 European Championship and all 6 at the 2012 European Championship. Silva opened the scoring in the final against Italy with a header and was named in the team of the tournament. He scored 35 goals in 125 caps before retiring from international football in 2018. 9. Carles Puyol. Carles Puyol was a fearless competitor and an inspirational leader for Barcelona and Spain in an impressive career. The defender led La Roja's back line at the 2008 European Championship and the 2010 World Cup and was named in the team of the tournament both times. He scored the winner in the semi-final against Germany in 2010. He missed 2012 Euros through injury, but played 100 times for Spain and always gave absolutely everything. 8. Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez was nicknamed the Architect by Alfredo Di Stefano in an impressive career with Deportivo La Coruña, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Sampdoria, and the Spanish national team. Suarez remains the only Spanish winner of the Ballon d'Or, having picked up the prize in 1960, and the Galician forward was instrumental as Spain claimed the European Championship for years later. He passed away in 2023 at the age of 88. 7. Raúl González was widely considered Spain's best ever player before their 3 tournament successes between 2008 and 2012. Unfortunately for the former Real Madrid striker, he did not form part of those triumphs, and dispensing with him ultimately allowed Spain to try something different. Before all that, Raúl scored 44 goals in his 102 appearances for Spain and was the team's top scorer until he was overtaken by David Villa. 6. Sergio Busquets. Sergio Busquets faced criticism from the Spanish media after La Roja lost their opening match of the 2010 World Cup to Switzerland. Coach Vicente Del Bosque responded with staunch defense of his player, and the Barcelona midfielder stayed in the team en route to glory in South Africa and at the 2012 European Championship. The Catalan remained important for another decade before announcing his international retirement in 2023. 5. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos was Spain's right back at the 2008 European Championship and the 2010 World Cup, before moving into the center of defense for club and country. An inspirational leader for Real Madrid and Spain, Ramos went on to become La Roja's most capped player and was one of the few to feature in all 3 of his nation's tournament triumphs in 2008, 2010, and 2012. 4. David Villa. When Luis Aragonés decided that Raúl would no longer be Spain's striker in the build-up to the 2008 European Championship, David Villa was the biggest beneficiary. Villa took Raúl's number 7 shirt and made it his own. The former Valencia and Barcelona striker went on to become Spain's all-time top scorer, hitting 4 at the 2008 European Championship and 5 at the 2010 World Cup. He missed the 2012 European Championship through injury. 3. Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas had the knack of saving his team in important moments, and the former Real Madrid and Spain captain earned the nickname Saint Iker. His save to deny Robin in the 2010 World Cup final is probably the most famous of all those moments. Casillas won 167 caps in total and kept over 100 clean sheets in those matches. He was instrumental in Spain's success. 2. Andrés Iniesta. Andrés Iniesta's winning goal in the 2010 World Cup final against the Netherlands is the greatest moment in the history of Spanish football. The elegant former Barcelona midfielder could easily top this list. He is one of the greatest midfielders of all time at club and international level, winning it all and contributing some unbelievable moments along the way. Iniesta was named best player as Spain won the 2012 European Championship. 1. Xavi. Andrés Iniesta may have scored the winner for Spain in South Africa, but La Roja's entire playing style started with Xavi Hernandez in their most successful era. The former Barcelona midfielder set the tempo with his one-touch passing and clever moment, persistently probing to exploit spaces and open gaps. He scored 13 goals in 133 appearances, but his importance cannot be measured in stats. He was named best player at the 2008 European Championship. That's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.